This video is a timeline of some of the important dates of Johnny Depp and Amber Heard's things. I just wanted to lay it all out there so that we don't get confused moving forward. On May 23rd, 2016, Amber finally filed for divorce. They talked about divorce quite a bit on the tapes, and Johnny Depp is quoted to have said, "Stop the process. I never wanted a divorce." I'm not sure what the date was on that, but Amber did file for divorce first. Now, in the US trial, Johnny Depp said that he told Amber that he wanted a divorce, and it's just not something that we've seen any proof of that he initiated that idea. On May 24th, 2016, Amber's lawyers sent a letter to Johnny Depp's team saying that Amber wanted a divorce, and they laid out some demands, and they said that they wanted to handle the whole matter privately. They explained that there was abuse in the relationship and that Amber wasn't gonna go get a TRO if they met the demands before Friday. And her demands were that she wanted a car, she wanted full use of the penthouse, and something like $50,000 a month in spousal support, and that was pretty much all she wanted. So again, she's just asking for one car, the use of one of his houses when he owns like 15 different homes or something, and also $50,000 a month in spousal support, which is like $600,000 a year, and he is a multi-millionaire who makes $20 million per film. It seems very doable, and it begs the question, like, this is all it would have taken for her to be quiet. So the price of her to keep his dirty little secret is just that much. It makes you wonder, why would he not just immediately choose to give it to her? And for all of this to have just been quiet, it's very puzzling. I don't understand why they didn't immediately just say yes. I mean, even if Amber was lying and this isn't true at all, why would he not meet her demands? They seem so reasonable. Why would he hesitate on such a sweet deal? It completely confuses me. And the only thing I'm thinking is, like, maybe he didn't want to break up with Amber, and he was hoping, like, if he delayed it or something, that she would change her mind and want to get back together. I don't know, it's just very confusing to me why he didn't agree to those terms immediately.
Don't screw up your life over this, trust me.
Trust you? Is that a joke?
I just think that him rejecting those terms is just really, really bizarre. That's the only word for it. It's bizarre that they said no.
What the hell was that?
On May 27th, 2016, Amber goes to get the restraining order from him. And they've spoken about it in phone calls, and she said that the reason why she decided to do it was because her lawyer told her to, and that his lawyers, his team or whatever, said that that they have to be evicted from the penthouse where she's living, and her friends were living there. They had to move in 30 days if she didn't do this restraining order. That's basically what they had told her. And then he texts her mother and her dad later on in that day. He texts the mother first saying that he did throw a phone, and that he thought that she would catch it, and I guess she didn't catch it. Then 2 hours later, he ends up texting Amber's dad this long paragraph, just rambling about how Amber's calling her, throwing a phone at her, domestic abuse. And he's saying that she's putting herself in deep trouble if she continues to perjure herself. He says, "I have done nothing to deserve this!" Exclamation point! Exclamation point! Exclamation point! And then he goes on to say that, "I worshipped her and have been betrayed by the very love of my life. Fuck it, she killed it. I guess I was so bad that it was fine for her to leave me and go to Coachella for 4 fucking days with all her girlfriends and to not give her birthday to us. The festival and her friends were clearly more important than working things out with me. And so that's interesting, because that's why him not accepting her reasonable terms suggests to me that maybe he just never wanted to break up with Amber. He wanted to work things out, which is different to what he's been saying in this trial, of that he decided to break up with her. Doesn't really sound like he was the one to initiate this breakup. So I just wanted to point that out. And then he said that her filing a restraining order against him is cruel and unforgivable, saying, I've done nothing but love her. And then he says, anyway, you have it, brother. I hope she's happy now. There were various negative things being leaked about Amber Heard to TMZ. On May 31st, I found something where it seems like someone from Amber's team got in touch with TMZ to speak about it. It says that Amber Heard is getting trashed because cops didn't do their job properly. Even worse, lied to protect Johnny Depp. So claim sources connected to the actress. So that's her people reaching out to TMZ. So it says that her sources say that she's the only one who swore under oath her version of events were accurate. Amber's people say Johnny's team had 24 hours notice before the TRO was heard, and he never filed a sworn declaration. Just wanted to point out that Johnny Depp never made any public accusations against Amber Heard at that time. So in this article where Amber's team got in touch, it seems very biased against her. It still seems to be defending Johnny Depp in it. There's a part where it says that the LAPD officials insist the 2 cops did indeed look for injuries and found none, but then when they've been interviewed, they said that they haven't been close enough to actually inspect her face properly. So that sounds like a filthy lie, that the cops just said that they didn't actually look straight into her face and inspect it. And then when you think about the bruises that we've seen, it's very minor bruises that they showed a picture of. It's just like a slightly red face. They said that they saw her with a slightly red face. And the other thing that I find hilarious is where they said, we contacted 2 doctors who routinely treat trauma injuries, who both said an iPhone hurled at someone would cause immediate swelling and some discoloration. Correct me if I'm wrong, did we not see a picture of some swelling and discoloration? It wasn't very dramatic, but we did see some of that. And it says, in addition to throwing the iPhone, in the legal documents, she also alleged that he pulled her hair, struck her, and violently grabbed her face. Yeah, so that's all in the public domain. Like, anyone can read what she said. It's all there. She laid out those 3 incidents. So those were the public accusations. And I don't know who are these 2 doctors that they spoke to that are trying to say that. Are they saying that the pictures that Amber released doesn't look like it would be from an iPhone being hurled at her? I think some doctors would say, yes, it does make sense. I know some doctors that would say, yes, her injuries seem very consistent with what she's describing. I don't know why do you need more dramatic looking bruises for her story to make sense? Her story makes sense, in my opinion. I also wanted to highlight this other article that they wrote, where it says that TMZ has obtained the legal documents that Amber Heard filed. So they specifically tell you that. And I wanted to point that out for the later article they wrote when they published that video, because that's not what they said. So hold on to this idea. After Amber got the restraining order from him, and on the 27th, and leading up to June 1st, there was a lot of bad press directed towards Amber Heard, with Johnny Depp's friends talking about this whole thing, kind of putting out this idea that she might have been lying, or she was a gold digger. Lots of people were speaking out in Johnny Depp's defense in the beginning, saying that it's nothing like the person that they knew him to be. Winona Ryder, who used to date him when she was 17, gave her opinion on this stuff, saying that it was the furthest thing from what she knew, blah blah blah, and all his friends like coming forward saying like he's such a nice guy, and I don't understand like what any of those people thought that they were trying to accomplish by saying all of that. Like, domestic abusers can be nice to their friends and then a different way behind closed doors, but it didn't really, their opinion wasn't necessarily warranted, so that's why I was a little bit suspicious of that from the beginning. And this one person in particular, Doug Stanhope, wrote this essay about what happened, and he said that that he had evidence that Amber Heard was blackmailing him. This kind of says to me like he's already decided that Johnny Depp was innocent before thinking it through, because if someone was accused of being up his wife made the accusation, not a random woman off the street saying that he attacked her. This is his wife, and this is Johnny Depp. You think that he's a nice person, you think he's such a swell guy. Why would you think his wife would want to spread these filthy lies about him? Why would you think that would make sense? And that's what I'm getting confused about. His evidence is not like actual evidence as well. It's just Johnny Depp's word on what's happening in this situation. Like, it's kind of hearsay in a way. If he's hearing it from Johnny Depp, like, he hasn't spoken to Amber Heard. And another thing is that Johnny Depp at this point would have every reason to lie. I'm not saying that he's lying about any of this, but he does have every reason to lie, because if he acknowledges that he did this stuff, if he's saying that it is true that he did beat his wife, like, that's sort of frowned upon in our society. So some of his friends might disown him if he were to say, yes, this is true. So he would have every reason to lie. So how can this Stanhope fella be so certain that he knows what's going on? Like, how can he know?
Who told you that if you never talked to them?
He did! What are you doing?
Waiting for you to realize just exactly how crazy that sounds.
Okay, so they're saying that Amber Heard is blackmailing him. And what Amber Heard has on Johnny Depp is evidence that he abused her for several years. That's what she has on him. That's what she's blackmailing him with, apparently. And that's what they're saying. So that doesn't necessarily prove that he didn't commit the domestic violence. It's kind of saying that he's sticking by his friend despite the domestic violence. That's what it means when you say blackmail. And again, I just wanted to point out that these abuse allegations did not come from nowhere. Amber Heard had been telling Johnny Depp that he was violent towards her when he was drunk or high throughout their relationship, and they've even spoken to therapists about it. One therapist who spoke to both of them in person, and when Amber was accusing him of being violent, Johnny Depp never contradicted anything she said. So with all that, like, you would think that the evidence against him is pretty strong, but I do know that he has that magical word that can explain everything away. The magical word placating. I understand that, so fair enough. I'll let that one slide for now. Another important thing that happened on June 1st was that TMZ had said that the cops were interviewed, and that they didn't see any injuries on Amber Heard. And there was also something on People where more pictures of her injuries were released. These things were in the court documents, so I don't think she was doing anything to release these pictures. I think they're allowed to publish it because it's in her. She's already filed those pictures, so everyone has access to it. So there's that. And since back then, since June 1st, there was talk of this tape, the videotape where he's kind of going crazy in the kitchen. There was talk of it being out there, but we hadn't seen it at that point yet. And on July 14th, 2016, in the midst of all this ongoing madness, Amber Heard ended up winning the ultimate beauty pageant. This computer had looked at a bunch of famous women's faces, and they did this mathematical thing and like worked out that Amber Heard had the most scientifically close to perfect face in the entire world. She won the ultimate beauty pageant. No one gave her a crown, no one gave her flowers, no one gave her money. And I just wanted to say that was completely messed up. Like, we as a society completely dropped the ball, but we'll just move on. Like we did back then. We'll move on again.
Mr. Depp, you sent this text to Christian Carino on August 15th?
I most certainly did.
Okay. And in this text that you sent to Christian Carino is the person who used to be Amber's agent and then was your agent for a time, correct?
That is correct.
And in this text, Your Honor, permission to publish, please.
You want to put in evidence first?
Move for admission of 857A.
Any objection?
No objection.
All right, 857A, as redacted, will be in evidence.
Thank you, Your Honor. And in this text, Mr. Depp, you said, she's begging for total global humiliation. She's going to get it. I'm going to need your texts about San Francisco, brother. I'm even sorry to ask, but she sucked Mollusk's crooked dick and he gave her some shitty lawyers. I have no mercy, no fear, and not an ounce of emotion, or what I once thought was love for this gold-digging, low-level, dime-a-dozen, mushy, pointless, dangling, overused, flappy fish market. I'm so fucking happy she wants to go to fight this out. She will hit the wall hard, and I cannot wait to have this waste of a cum guzzler out of my life. I met a fucking sublime little Russian here, which made me realize the time I blew on that 50-cent stripper. I wouldn't touch her with a goddamn glove. I can only hope that karma kicks in and takes the gift of breath from her. Sorry, man, but now I will stop at nothing. Let's see if Mollusk has a pair. Come see me face to face. I'll show him things he's never seen before, like the other side of his dick when I slice it off. Did I read that right?
You did.
Oh, wonderful.
Now, not long after this, you can take that down, Michelle, thank you.
This is the key thing that I feel like everyone's getting mixed up on, because they had this phone conversation where he's suggesting a mutual statement. He was the one to be like, let's end this peaceful, man, peaceful. He's the one that said that. And then the day before they do this joint statement together, he's like, I can't wait to like fight this out in court. I will stop at nothing. Let's see if Mollusk has a pair. Like, just all this talk. And then he ends up doing a mutual statement the next day. That's so strange. It's almost like, how can that make sense? Did Amber reject the mutual statement offer? Because it doesn't sound like she did. If they did it. But maybe the terms of the mutual statement is not what he wanted it to be. But he decided on this mutual statement that says that nobody made false accusation for financial gain. He signed his name to that. So this guy is such a either way you look at it, he's such a filthy liar. How can you, like, not think that he's a filthy liar? The first day he's acting like he's so mean, and he's like, I'm gonna take her down, and the next day he just does this peaceful mutual statement. Like, it's like Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, or whatever. Like, he's just so erratic. It's insane. Like, after that vicious statement that he made about, like, she's scum, I'm over her, da da da, he said all of that. Do you really think that at that point he would still be in the mood to placate her after everything? And yet he agreed to the statement. His lawyers, his expensive lawyers, agreed to the statement where it said that neither party has made false accusations for financial gain. There was never an intent of physical or emotional harm. Like, that's interesting that he would sign his name to that after everything he said the day before. Why would he want to placate her? Why not just take her to court? If he's innocent, why not just go to court? What could she have been blackmailing him with? What does she have on him? And again, like, this is the thing that this is not how blackmail works. Like Amber Heard getting the TRO for this thing immediately. That doesn't sound like blackmail. The way blackmail works is that you get all the money you want first. Like, maybe she asked for something a bit more extravagant, like 100 million or 150 million, and then she would sign an NDA, not make any accusations in public ever. That's how blackmailing works. That's how it typically tends to work. That's not what Amber Heard was doing, though.
I mean, I keep your secrets, man. I keep your weird, terrible little secrets. I see crazy monkey every day in this place. But it all stays right here. Okay.
I mean, like, you don't get called a French extortionist ex-cunt based on nothing, do you? Or maybe you do. Based on Johnny Depp, maybe you do get called that based on nothing. Maybe what Vanessa got was reasonable based on their relationship. It could make sense. But he could have gotten a better deal if they weren't married. He could have gotten a much better deal. He didn't have to give her that much money. And at this point, he called her an extortionist. So, yeah. I don't know. I wonder what she has on him. Him agreeing to that letter, that mutual statement that they put out there, that is so damning to me, because he did not have to do that. He could have done what he wanted to do originally and just take her to court. If he's truly innocent, he could have just done that. But I think what might have happened is that his lawyers explained to him that Amber's evidence against him was kind of a lot. Like, she had the audio tapes, these pictures spanning years. So they must have convinced him not to do that. And then Amber Heard agreed on this mutual statement that acknowledges that she did not make a false accusation, and because she's the only one who made a public accusation, it acknowledges that yes, he did do all the things that she alleged that he did. Those 3 incidents that she laid out: the birthday incident, the headbutting incident, which he on tape admitted to doing, and the phone thing where he, in his text messages, says that he threw a phone and he thought that Amber Heard would catch it, but she didn't catch it. He sent that text message to her mother. So she has a lot to back up those 3 incidents, witnesses that were there that could back up her story. So that must have been why he agreed to that mutual statement. So why are we doing this court trial, this 2022 court trial, when he already said that there's no false accusations? What did Amber Heard have on him? If that we can say that that joint statement is all a lie. If we say that, why did Johnny Depp agree to it? Why is he choosing to placate her or whatever at this moment? What does she have on him?
Well, yes, you do, because you wouldn't have used that as a way to hit me. I was pouring my heart out to you. What do you do? Let me get it. Let me get it. Stab in here. That's what you saw, huh? You listen to me cry, and you're like, now I can get her. Is that what you think? Or you just do it without thinking? You do it without thinking, huh? You don't. Get him. Stab him when you can. You throw a swing when you can. And what win better than to win on the floor? Because that's when it's really good to hit someone.
So when the couple split, Johnny Depp's family and friends had been weighing in publicly, disparaging her character, attacking her, like with their words. And so when they made that mutual statement, that meant that the couple had stated that there would be no further public statements about this matter. That's what they had agreed on both sides. They both did this like NDA so that neither of them could talk about it. Then on November 15th, 2016, Amber Heard made a rare public appearance at the Glamour Awards, and then she read an essay from Brock Turner's sexual assault victim. And she talked about sexual assault and abuse in vague terms. She didn't link it to Johnny Depp at all, and that she was allowed to do. So that is an example of something that is similar to the op-ed, and she's allowed to say that stuff and not face any legal consequences. This particular article that I read said that this is after she was awarded $7 million. Now, she hasn't actually gotten all the money yet, but this article said that she had donated, past tense, the money for the two charities. They said it was past tense, and they know that she hasn't actually done it, because the quote that she said is that the donation will be divided equally between the ACLU, with a particular focus to stop violence against women, and the Children's Hospital of Los Angeles, where she used to volunteer for the past 10 years alongside organizations like the Art of Elysium. I don't know, but that's what she said. And they use the word donated past tense, and the reason why they're saying the word donated past tense is because donate and pledge are synonymous terms. I'll say that again. Donate and pledge are synonymous terms, and that's why people keep using them synonymously. Then a very interesting video of the couple was leaked to TMZ on December 8th, 2016.
I mean, you come in here, you have your afternoon coffee, and you start screaming and yelling and smashing equipment. People have no idea what goes on. It's cool, though. I'm here to clean the puke off your shirt.
Again, it's very important to lay out the timeline for this, because this is after the mutual statement, it's after the divorce settlement, where they decided that Amber was going to get the $7 million, and he agreed in that mutual statement that nobody made false accusation. Her name was cleared. Why would this video need to come out? Why would no one believe her after he said no one made false accusations? Why does Amber Heard still need to prove her innocence? That's why it's kind of suspicious. Why would she choose to leak something like this after she already got what she wanted? And then when you look at what TMZ had to say about it, it's very suspicious. Like, it's not like the thing that they said before, where they said that they got the video from the legal documents. And this video was talked about since June 1st. There had been talk about Amber Heard having a tape. And then in this article, it says that the tape would not be admissible in court, partly because it's edited, but more importantly because it appears he does not know he's being videotaped, and she's and she'd have to get his permission. We've learned, however, the tape is specifically entered in an exhibit in Amber's case. Now, the tape that was submitted in Amber's case was the unedited version, and then sources connected to Johnny tell TMZ the video is heavily edited, and there are portions where Amber is seen smiling and egging him on. The sources add the video was a complete setup by Amber. Now, this is very interesting because it tells you that the people on Johnny Depp's team have access to that tape. If they can tell you exactly what was edited out of it, that means that they also have this tape. So that is what's making me lean towards that because this tape was already something that Amber had given, she entered it in an exhibit. So they had the full tape because of that. And why would Amber Heard give the unedited tape to the courts and then give an edited version to TMZ after she had already gotten what she wanted out of Johnny, which is for him to publicly announce that she didn't make a false accusation? That's what she wanted, and he has already done that. So why is she still gonna do this? It's more likely that he did it. That's what I've been saying the entire time. He did it. Johnny Depp is the mastermind behind this whole operation. Wake up, people, wake up.
Why security come on the record and lie? Then why go that's a proactive measure? Then why did you're the work attorney get the file for divorce, period, at all? Second, why did she have to go and get it from TMZ? Why, if you wanted it private, is TMZ being fed information literally by Laura Walker and Marty Seaver every step of the way? My arrest record? What's next in the media? The rumors that I was a stripper? Of course I can expect that next. I've known every step of the way, every single step of the way, everything you'd give them. You don't think
I'd give them.
You know why I'm mad. Why? You know what you did. What did I do? You know what did I do?
You crushed that girl.
Some people say that because the video was recorded on Amber Heard's device, like she has the copyright and only she's the one that can leak it. But if you think about the stuff that has been online, like Incredibly Average's channel, most of those recordings were on Amber Heard's device. She's the one that made those tapes, but Johnny Depp was the one to tell his lawyers to leak all that stuff, and the purpose of it is to control the narrative. Like, this is all damage control. Like, the stuff on those tapes are incriminating to him. The Secret Australia tape is incriminating to him because Jerry Judge says on the tape that he saw bruises on Amber. He motions to see 2 bruises on Amber, and that he saw them both covered in blood, saying that there's blood everywhere, saying that they need to cover up for Johnny. Like, they're saying that they would cover for him for the police if it comes to that. All the stuff that makes him look bad, but because they gave it to someone who would tamper with the evidence, like change the transcribing so it wouldn't sound as bad, accuse Amber Heard of all these ridiculous things to get ahead of it, and then that way you control the way people see the situation, think that she's guilty of this, and this, when she's not.
You dirty little liar.
He was always planning on taking her to court. He would give the lawyers whatever they needed to take her down. Like he said in that global humiliation text message, like he had no ounce of emotion left. He would do whatever it took to take her down. And this happened after the mutual statement, after Amber had got everything she wanted. This stuff started coming out to make her look bad.
That's it. I'd give them. I'll see you in court. No, I'll fucking see you in court. I will fucking see you in court. I never fucking said that. I never told anyone that. You fucking trusted me with that, and I've never fucking told anyone that. And you know what, Amber? This is me. This is me saying, I tried. And thank you, and I will see you in fucking court. You don't want to fucking make nice? I'm trying.
Tell that to TMZ, Bubble Butt.
On December 12th, 2016, Amber Heard wrote a Silent Sisters letter. It's this letter talking about domestic abuse, saying like, you're not alone, blah, blah, blah. Johnny Depp couldn't sue her for this because it's not based in anywhere near Virginia, so he wouldn't be able to sue her for something like this. It didn't have his name on it. She kept the promise to like keep his name out of this stuff, but it's pretty obvious that she's talking about herself and the abuse in her relationship. But she's not saying anything specific. It's the same as the op-ed, but he would not be able to sue her for it. But even despite that, TMZ released something saying that, oh, this letter is going to be big trouble. Johnny Depp might drop his deal, his $7 million settlement with her because she put out this letter, and he might sue her for this and da-da-da. TMZ was saying that kind of thing based on this letter that didn't have his name on it. And this letter didn't do anything bad to him. No one dropped him from anything that he was doing based on this Silent Sisters letter, because nobody read it, nobody knows, nobody read her op-ed either, nobody cares about anything Amber Heard is saying ever. So again, wanted to point that out again for the timeline. There were other opportunities for him to sue her, and he either chose not to, or his lawyers tried to and found out that the only way you could do it is if it was printed in a place that had servers in Virginia. Then in November 15th, 2017, she gets named GQ's Woman of the Year. She's in the superhero movie. Her career's like moved on. She's still in the movie. Everything's fine. She's moved on with her life. It's all good. January 14th, 2017, the divorce is finally finalised. They can cut ties completely. It's so good. It's so good. And then January 18th, 2017, 4 days after the divorce, after the mutual statement where it says neither party made false accusations for financial gain, it's the People's Choice Awards, and Johnny Depp is in attendance.
To be a nominee for Favorite Movie Icon, your star must burn so bright you enchant fans all over the world. So, the people chose the one and only, and one of my personal favorites, Johnny Depp.
This is Johnny Depp's 14th People's Choice Award.
You dirty, dirty bitch.
So can we all just stop spreading this filthy lie that men accused of abuse have their lives ruined based on these accusations? Like, he's fine. He's completely fine. Look at everyone clapping for him. It was a better reception compared to that stupid MTV spacesuit thing. And it would have all been... he would have been so fine right now if he just kept his mouth shut. But no, he just wanted revenge so badly. He had to ruin things for himself. And I don't want us to rewrite history. Like, I don't know what people were thinking back then. If they didn't believe Amber Heard still, even after he said that neither party made false accusations, did people still disbelieve her? Or did they believe her and just not care what happened? Is that what happened? So let's just not rewrite history. We know the timeline now. We know how things happened. Let's not get it twisted. So sometime in 2018, before Amber published her op-ed, he said that, but when the boom gets lowered on Scamber, which is very soon, the world will receive the proper image of who I am and what I have had to say silent about for 3 fucking years. He stated that the only thing I feel for her now is pure disgust and hatred, and then he started calling her all these bad names. So even though he was well received on the People's Choice Awards, he wasn't fired from anything at that point. he was still like saying that he wanted to take her down and get at her and this and that. How does that make sense after everyone was clapping for him? Everyone was like, "You're still my favorite." Da da da. He still was just so hell-bent on revenge. He was willing to risk it all. So on June 21st, 2018, he does this disastrous, horrible, horrific interview with Rolling Stone, and he requested to do this. Him and Adam Waldman decided to do this stuff. And it made him look really bad. He talks about the lawsuits that he's doing, his spending habits, the $30,000 a month on wine, just all the stuff that made him look bad. Then he does another terrible GQ interview on October 2nd, 2018, where he's basically trying to say that Amber Heard lied about everything. And then there's this like really interesting part where he talks about the tape. Like he did the whole thing about Cinderella Quasimodo, that stupid quote that I hate so much. He talked about that in the GQ interview, and then he started saying that he was never going to be a role model. And then he starts saying that the tape that came out, and he stops and chuckles and repeats the tape that came out, or the tape that someone made that miraculously appeared on YouTube, taken from someone's phone. So he's trying to say that Amber was the one that leaked it. Amber had no reason to leak that after he already said that nobody made false accusations for financial gain. She already got what she wanted. So I'm just starting to think that he is so... his team must have thought ahead, and they did this, and this was the plan, and they thought that him saying that he was phoned without his consent and this and that would make her look bad to people, which it did. It did make people think that she was like trying to set him up and taking advantage of him. And it was just him in a bad moment, and it didn't mean anything. It really does seem like damage control based from his team to decide to put that video out, and then he's trying to make Amber look bad because of it.
I had no ability to speak prior to, because even if I had done an interview to try to explain myself, it turned into a hit piece.
No.
So the stuff that he's been saying in the trial isn't anything new compared to what he said in those two disastrous interviews, and he keeps doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. And what it's coming across like is that he just can't stand when he doesn't have complete control over the narrative. Like, he just can't stand whenever someone's like portraying him in a negative light. And this is something that is consistent in his life, like saying that he has like these temper tantrums based on things that critics have said about his performance or whatever. Like it kind of gets to him in a way. He's like very sensitive to that kind of thing, it seems. So on October 25th, 2018, the Daily Mail reported that he had been dropped from the 6th Pirates movie after those two terrible interviews he did where he was talking about Amber, talking about these abuse claims, bringing people's attention to it again. That was what might have been the thing that led up to him getting fired. Amber's op-ed has still not come out yet. That he's been the only one who keeps talking and talking and talking about it over and over and over again, when if he had just kept quiet, he might have still been able to do it. And because this is just the Daily Mail reporting it, it wasn't like the most official source, but a writer from there said that basically he had a good run, but they were gonna let him go. But before then, it seems like Johnny Depp kind of didn't want to do it anyway. He said that he was like done whoring himself out for those people. He was done with Disney. He didn't want to do it anymore. And if he had said but in those interviews, it seems like maybe that led up to like him being dropped. Like just saying negative things like he was saying is a reason to get dropped, but it's unclear what the actual reason was. They just said they're going a different direction for the next movie, so it's not clearly linked to any of the abuse claims at all.
What was the question, sorry?
By March 6, 2015, you'd been in pre-production and shooting for Pirates 5 for a couple of weeks in Australia, right?
I believe so, yes.
Okay. So your email to him, to Mr. Duders, your personal assistant, reads, honestly, I will not again be doing anything that involves the discussion of furthering my embarrassment of having whored for all these fucking wasted pieces of shit, nothing, years on characters that I so ignorantly started to think of as my legacy. Every cunting fight, every fucking time, I held my ugliness and rage deeper down and get in check when there was still room in my head to do such a thing. Did I read that right?
You did.
And that's what you're writing to Mr. Duders, having been on the set of Pirates 5 for a couple of weeks, correct?
That's correct.
You're a monkey, dance monkey, in your little spangly shoes. Smash your cymbals, Stimpy. Dance, Derek, dance!
So what may be happening is that he genuinely was getting sick of the whole Pirates of the Caribbean thing. Like, he lost the joy of doing it, if there ever was any. If they say that he needs the drugs to be able to act like a normal person, maybe he never really liked it. Who knows? But yeah, it seems like he didn't want to do this anymore, but because it's been like years on and he's had time to cool off, maybe his thought process was like, because it's been so many years out, he's like had time to calm down, and he's decided, like, you know what, I wouldn't mind getting an extra $40 million this year. I would be fine to get an extra $40 million this year. I wouldn't mind that at all. And it wouldn't hurt me to get an extra $40 million this year. And maybe that's why he's like regretful of like some of his actions, because if he had just played things the smart way, not done all these frivolous lawsuits, not exposed all these things about him, he'd still be able to have his job. But because he did do all that stuff, he's in this predicament where Disney has now said like they won't get him back to do the next one.
Deal with it. He broke up with Regina, and guess what? He still doesn't want you. So why are you still messing with Regina, Katie? I'll tell you why. Because you are a mean girl. You're a bitch.
So December 18, 2018 is when the op-ed comes out. It's in the Washington Post. Nobody read it. Nobody's read this op-ed. Nobody cared about it. It didn't affect anything. Didn't have his name on it. Yeah, that's it.
You dirty little liar.
In the U.S. trial, Elaine laid out this whole timeline, saying that the op-ed didn't affect anything, and that him being removed from Pirates was exposed since October, but it was officially laid out like the morning of Amber's op-ed coming out. Simply put, the op-ed had absolutely nothing to do with his demise. He self-destructed. He's the only one who can destroy himself. Amber has no power to destroy him. I just want to rewind back to 2017, the People's Choice Awards.
I came here for one reason tonight and one reason only. I love you too, kid. Thanks.
Motherfucker! Motherfucker!
What happened?
I came here for you, the people. through whatever good times or bad. You want to see crazy? I'll give you fucking crazy. That's crazy. Oh, you're crazy. Oh, you're crazy.
Have you drunk this whole thing this morning?
Oh, you got this going. You got this going?
I just started it.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Really? Through whatever good times or bad, have stood by me, trusted me.
In Hollywood, silence is the default. You play no card before it's time.
An important aspect of being a leader is the ability to manage your mistakes. Remember when Cheney shot that man in the face? He went underground for a couple days in a bunker, laid low, and before you know it, the guy he shot was apologizing to him. Genius, right?
There was a tried and true method when it comes to dealing with this thing. All he had to do is be quiet. But now he's lost these 2 movies that he was in, the Harry Potter thingy, and the other one, the Pirates one. He lost that one too, and he only lost the Harry Potter backstory one because he decided to sue the son for calling him a wife beater. Now all he had to do was just not do anything, and he would have been fine. He would have been completely fine.
I was very deeply affected by the kindness of your recognition and by your well wishes to my family and to myself, which is why it's especially meaningful to me to be here in front of you, to say thank you, and to tell you that I truly feel that need to thank you. In all honesty, we all know that none of us, especially me, wouldn't be standing up here if it weren't for you tonight. So thank you, and give him hell, Betty Sue.
Some of the comments on that video was so funny to me. Like some people saying like Johnny's not drunk or anything else in this video. He's not a good public speaker. He's incredibly shy in such a setting. Blah 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 blah. Saying that he's so real, he's so human. I love how honest he is and how sincerely he has no words to thank everyone. Now, do you think he's honest when he told you that neither party made false accusations for financial gain? Like, I just don't understand with this video. Did people believe Amber Heard, yes or no, when she laid out those 3 incidents of him being her? The birthday incident, the thing on December 2016, I don't know, where he headbutted her and said that she feared for her life. Like all those incidents that she laid out, did people believe in that, yes or no? And is Amber Heard's op-ed not completely factually correct when she's saying that institutions protect men accused of abuse? Because I feel like she's just simply stating facts at this point. Everything that she said in her op-ed was just a fact. Let me back up again to January 4th, 2016, to another award show Johnny went to.
I also have to thank my wife, Amber, for putting up with me, for living with all these characters, which can't be easy. No. Well, it's hard for me. It's got to be hard for her, you know.
So again, to give some context here, this is in January, so it was after the headbutt incident, and he's thanking Amber Heard for putting up with him. Very interesting, like, that he would say that he would feel the need to say that if Amber Heard was more at fault for any of these arguments. Why would he be thanking her publicly? I mean, it sounds a little odd to me, but I do already know what he's gonna say about that. He was just, he didn't do anything wrong. He was just placating her. Even though Amber had told him that she wanted to break up after this incident, he decided that even though she made these heinous allegations against him, he was gonna apologize to her dad, thank her publicly for all this stuff. But it was all placating. That's just him placating her. Obviously, that's just him. He's just placating. Duh. And when he's publicly thanked his other exes, like saying that Vanessa has been dealing with him for years, and saying that was difficult for her to do, saying that he's a moron sometimes when it came to Kate Moss, saying that he was to blame for that relationship ending, saying all this stuff, like that he's terrible to live with. What on earth could he be talking about? What is he doing in these relationships? What is he thanking Amber Heard for putting up with? What are these different characters that he's talking about? I really wonder.
This morning? I don't think so.
And when he and Amber Heard went to therapy sessions to talk about the violence in their relationship, and Amber Heard described all the times that he instigated the violence and he started the fights and he hit her, and all this stuff was described in detail, and he never said anything to contradict her. That was just him placating her. Even in a therapy session, he decided that would be a good time to placate someone. He thought that would make sense to do for some reason. It was just to placate her, just go along with whatever she says. He thought that was a good idea. The moral of the story is that if anyone accuses you of being a monster and doing terrible things to them while you're on the influence of drugs and alcohol, and you don't remember what you did in those particular moments, don't agree with them. Don't say, yes, I did that, I'm sorry. Just break up with them. If you don't believe that you did that stuff, then break up with them. Don't say, yes, I did it, and I'm sorry I did it. Don't say any of that. Don't agree with them. Don't always say, no, I'm sure I didn't do that. Always say stuff like that. If you think that you didn't do it, say you didn't do it. But no, with Johnny Depp, he kept saying that he locked the monster away. He kept blaming himself over and over again, taking responsibility for the violence over and over and over again. And when you've done that, it's very difficult to then go with you and say that you're completely innocent. Like, it's very difficult to just pretend like all those times where he never disagreed, to pretend like that just didn't happen. To pretend like that legal document that they both signed where it said neither party made false accusations for financial gain, to pretend like that document doesn't exist. I don't know, like to say that he agreed to do that document because he was placating her, like I don't know about that, man. I just don't know about that.
Stop trying to make
placating
happen. It's not going to happen.
You fat bastard. Dude.